And you know what? It's perfect timing if you're just tuning in because we're about to call him. We're about to find out what Brandon Chase has been up to other than his time on The Voice. And we're going to talk to him about what it was like to be on The Voice in that audition, which is pretty awesome stuff. Blake Shelton looked impressed, and Blake Shelton said he is a great kid, so pretty awesome stuff. So we're going to give Brandon a call right now here on Radio Nation. Sit tight as we give this a call off of Skype, and if you've listened to this program before, sometimes we've had a little bit of difficulties, but nevertheless, let's give it a shot.
Hello?
Hey, Brandon, it's Nicholas from Radio Nation. How you doing?
Hey, Nicholas. I'm doing great.
Brandon, I bet you are, man. We were just listening to your performance there, and I want to say congratulations on your audition on The Voice. It's pretty awesome stuff. It must be you must be feeling pretty amped up right about now.
Oh, man, I'm on cloud 9 for sure. It's incredible, 2 days ago, I get maybe a tweet every hour, every 2 hours, and I'm getting one every half a second, it seems like. So it's amazing, man. It's so humbling, and this experience is it's definitely a once-in-a-lifetime thing.
Now, I know there's only so much you can and cannot talk about, and one of the things I was curious to ask is sort of when did you find out that, talk me through your trial and audition to get on to this point in the program, in The Voice, where you got to be on this stage of the Voice.
As far as leading up to it, like within the Voice?
Yeah.
Well, on TV, it all seems like, it just happens then and there, but obviously it's all pre-recorded, and there's a lot of people that audition that don't get shown on TV when it comes time for the show to air. But leading up to it, man, it was insane. That there's no guarantees, and it's kind of almost a stressful environment. But I have no complaints. I was so blessed with the opportunity to actually step out on the stage and to perform and give it my all, and I did just that, and I was so grateful to have gotten 2 chairs turned, and now I'm on Team Blake.
Now, Blake Shelton called you, and I'm going to quote this. He said, "Quote: This kid is a miracle." What is that like to hear that from Blake Shelton himself?
Oh, man, that was super cool, and he said that when he came back into the room with my family, and just having my family be able to meet him and get to, say hi to him, that in itself was really awesome. But something Blake said that, really, that I loved even more than that was just when he said, you're a true country artist, it runs in your blood. That was, being a country artist, I think that's the greatest thing you can hear from a country superstar. So, that really confirmed a lot of things in me. And, that was really obviously being a country artist, Blake was my first pick, but that really is what sent over the edge. And, at that point I was like, CeeLo, there's nothing CeeLo can say, unfortunately, at this point. Blake, he's my man. I got to pick him. So.
Now, have you had a chance to talk to him? I mean, obviously you got a little bit of a chance there when you talked to your family, but I mean, have you got to interact with him a lot since he, you got to be on his team?
Yeah, Blake is a super, super caring guy. He's obviously very funny, and he's genuine. He is who he is, and what you see on TV is who he is when the cameras aren't rolling, And yes, I've gotten the opportunity to hang out with him for a little bit, and really just loved every second of it. He's just a really great guy.
If you're just joining us live on Radio Nation, we have Brandon Chase here on the program. He's been on this program a couple times before, and you can tweet us your questions to Brandon. Just tweet us at radio_nation, and we'll be happy to read the most appropriate questions. Now, Brandon, one thing that I must say that I find interesting is since this has happened, you've probably noticed that, and you sort of alluded to it, that now all of a sudden you got a lot of attention. You got a lot of you got a lot of new fans out of this experience, but you also got a bit of a press team behind you now, which is kind of cool. What's that like to just even have support from sort of an art, like as an artist perspective? What's it like to have, a press team and a media team behind you, even if it is for a short period of time or for a long period of time?
It's super cool. I've been working my tail off, the last really hard the last 2 years, and I'm just a testament of true work. Really, it really pays off. Hard work really pays off, and just knowing where I was even 2 days ago, and then knowing where I am now, it's such a leap, and I'm so grateful for all the exposure that I got with the blind audition airing, and having a team behind me is great. I don't have anybody doing my social media or anything like that. Like, that's all me. I'm the one responding to all the fans and stuff. But as far as getting press, being able to do interviews with magazines and newspapers and stuff, that's super cool. And to be able to have a press team behind me setting that kind of stuff up is super cool.
Now, it also must be kind of cool to sort of go on, if you Google your name right now, there's all these things that pick you up. Like this morning I looked your name up, and there's an article from the UK Daily News that, has a picture of you in it. And that must be pretty cool to be like, a couple weeks ago nobody really knew who I was, and now here I am, and I'm in a British publication.
Yeah, that's news to me, so I haven't seen that, but yeah, I mean, I Googled the other day, and before it was just my stuff coming up, Twitter and Facebook and my website, and now you can barely even find my stuff on there. All you see is my name and picture on all these other websites, and that's super cool. I'm telling you, it's very humbling for me.
Now, Brendan, the last time I chatted to you, you were talking about, and we talked about what it's like to plan a tour and to organize something like that. Now, obviously, you being on the show probably prohibits you from doing any of that for a little while. But I mean, going forward, without giving away too much information, what sort of plans do you have in the future?
Right now, like you said, I'm just kind of really just focusing on the voice and seeing how far I get with it. And after the voice is over, I definitely plan on going to as many places as I can, all around the U.S. And I'm so grateful to have people, watching from the Philippines and Brazil and South Africa. And so hopefully, eventually my tour will lead to those places as well. I really would love to connect with my fans and in all the different states. Doing that through social media, but I can't wait to be able to go to their cities and meet them face to face and really just get a chance to hang and play for them live.
Now, in the short period of time that you've sort of gotten this exposure, has there sort of been a really standout interaction that you've had with a fan?
All of them stand out to me. Everybody has been so nice. I literally don't think I've had one negative comment or anything directly to me, and it's more than I could ever ask for. Just all the love and support that I've been getting. It's really overwhelming, to be honest. It's very surreal. Can hardly believe it.
Now, Brandon, of course, you've been on this program a couple of times, and I've asked you a couple of these questions in the times that you have been on the program. But just for some of the people that are probably listening that maybe don't know much about who you are, maybe they didn't get a chance to see The Voice, or maybe they even if they have seen you on The Voice, they just haven't had a chance to really get to know you a little bit better. So, Brandon, let's talk about how you got started into music and what sort of got you to where you are today.
Oh yeah. It's cool because I've had this question asked to me a couple times a day. So my answer will always be the same. I'll never change it just because it might sound better a different way. It is what it is. I never had any kind of dreams to be in music until I was about 13, going on 14. I had no music experience, never sang, never played any instruments. And one day at my church, our youth band was holding auditions to be a part of the youth worship team. And for some reason, I just felt like I needed to go and audition. I didn't know what I was going to audition for, what part, if I was going to play an instrument or I was going to sing. I had no idea. I was just going to kind of wing it. But the reason I felt led to that was because I was always a shy kid growing up, and I wanted to do something with my life, but I knew I needed to step out of my shell, and I figured, being on stage and being in front of a bunch of people singing or playing or doing anything would surely bring me out of my shell, And I went to that audition, and I ended up singing. I think "Here I Am to Worship" or "I Can Only Imagine," something along those lines. And from there on, I was a part of the worship team, and my passion for music it really grew overnight. And ever since, I've just fallen in love with music more and more each and every day, and more opportunities have come my way. And man, it's just really it's incredible looking back on where I started, where I am now. I just know that it's 100%. It's from God and for God, and I credit myself none. I credit Him everything. So He literally sat everything on my lap, and I'm just doing my best to be a good host of the gifts and calling that He's placed in my life, and plan to continue with that mentality throughout the rest of my career and life.
Going to take a couple of questions off of Twitter here because they do relate to sort of the topic we're on right now. This one comes from Matt. He wants to know, if you could describe yourself in one statement, what would it be?
Driven and if one word, I'd say driven. And definitely a fighter. I always work hard, and I put everything that I have into what I'm doing. And I think that if you have a passion for something, if you have a dream, if you believe in anything, as long as you commit 100%, you can do it. You can achieve any goal. You can set records. You can break boundaries. You really have no limitations because your mind is so powerful.
This question comes from Paulina in California. Wants to know, what has been the biggest challenge for you in your career, and how did you overcome it?
I guess the biggest challenge for any unknown artist is becoming known. You can play all of the coffee shops and venues that you can that allow you to play at, and you can still, in a sense, feel like you're going nowhere. And I think, myself included, many artists that are starting out feel that way at some point or another. And, that's definitely a struggle. So just obviously the voice and this opportunity, I'm pretty much past that. And, anybody else can overcome that as well. There's a moment, and there's a time, and everything happens at its specific time, and this was my time, and I waited it out, and I kept working, kept pushing, and here I am.
This next question comes from Samantha in Washington, and she wants to know, Brandon, describe the moment when you saw Blake turn around and when you sort of realized he wanted you on his team.
Oh man, so. First of all, stepping out on the stage, I've been privileged enough to play a lot of gigs and a lot of places, and I've actually played in front of crowds quite a bit bigger than that room that we were in. But stepping out onto that stage was a feeling that I've literally never had. And just the emotions and the nerves were just so unbelievable. It was just so surreal just stepping out on that stage, just knowing where I was in that moment. And when I saw Blake turn around, from there on out after that, I was just really on autopilot. Like it just didn't even feel like me. I was just so happy, so overwhelmed, so full of joy. It was just really a blur after that, because I just knew, I was like, man, I'm on the show. Like, this is so crazy. I can't even believe it. So yeah, the nerves were intense, insane, but I made it through, and man, it was just crazy. It's still crazy.
For those that don't know how it works, I mean, I guess describe the show itself. Do you get to pick the song that you audition for, and what does the team thing mean for anybody that doesn't really understand how The Voice itself works as a show?
How does the team what?
Sorry, I'll rephrase that question a little bit better. For somebody that's listening that maybe doesn't watch The Voice too much, or watches it in and out but doesn't really understand what the whole team thing is about, what is that thing about? What is it about, where each sort of judge picking a team?
Okay, so, I mean, there's 4 coaches, and each of them have their back turned to you, and they're literally just going off of your voice. You start singing, and if they like what they hear and they want you to be a part of their team, then they will press a button and they turn around, and if multiple people turn around, then they kind of fight for you and want you to choose them. And later on in the competition, the teams get a little smaller. Start off at 12, and then they get smaller as time goes on, and they get to the live shows, and eventually there's a winner, and whoever's the coach of that winner has, the title, I guess you could say, of the winner as well. So Team Blake won the last 3 seasons, so I'm on a winning team for sure.
I was just going to say, actually, funny you mentioned that. Blake Shelton's Cassidy, she won last year. So I guess what's that like? You not only did you get picked by a very, very prominent country musician, but you get picked by a guy who's won this thing 3 times in a row.
Yeah, obviously he knows what he's doing. He has a great coaching style, and whatever he does, it works. Obviously, it's proven. He's got the track record. So just knowing that he turned around and wanted me to be a part of that, it's crazy. Obviously he wouldn't turn around for anybody unless he thought they had the potential to win. So knowing he thought that I had potential to win is pretty crazy.
What do you hope to take them away most from this experience, and what do you hope they'll take away most from interacting and working with Blake? Just to become a better artist. In the same way that Blake knows what he's doing on The Voice, he knows what he's doing in his career and knows what he's doing with his music. And, any little thing that I can pick up from him that he shares with me, I'm going to take it for what it is, and I'm going to, capitalize it the best I can. And, I just want to come out as a better artist and a better person, For me, my music is more about how I sound. It's less about how I sound. It's more about, who I am, and just staying genuine, and hopefully being able to inspire people to chase their dreams and to fulfill something that God's called them to. This question is from Maddie. She wants to know, Brandon, what are you most excited for this season?
What am I most excited for? Right now, I'm most excited for the battle rounds. I was most excited for the blinds, up until last night, and now I'm just ready for the next round. That's all I can look forward to at the moment.
This question is from Tony. She wants to know. Here, I'm going to read for you. This is literally right from her. Brandon, has anyone ever told you that you somewhat resemble a quote-unquote young Elvis and that you have some sort of, you have some of that charisma? I see you going far.
I had never gotten that, I don't think. But that's pretty cool. Damn, Elvis, all right.
This is for myself. Growing up, what kind of artists influenced your own music?
My biggest musical influences are Keith Urban and John Mayer. Really, those two especially for their musicianship and their songwriting. I really respect artists that are really jack of all trades and they can just do it all and they can do it all extremely well, you know. So those two are definitely huge influences. Anthony Evans, who was actually on The Voice season 2, he was one of the first people that I started listening to when I started singing. I would just listen to his CD over and over, and I would sing every song at the top of my lungs. And you know, he's the reason I really developed my voice the way that I did. So he's definitely a huge influence of mine, and just so many others. Chris August, Steve Moakler. I really love singer-songwriters and just their abilities in all the different areas of music, you know, from their writing to their vocals and their musicianship.
Brandon, if there's one thing that really, if you could sum up your experience so far on The Voice in one word, what would you say?
Just unbelievable. That's all I can really say, I guess. You know, obviously you always hope for great things for your life, and you want to exceed in what you're chasing as your calling and as your career, and to know where I am right now, it's really unbelievable. It's incredible.
Couple more quick questions off of Twitter here. One of them comes from Vanessa in Washington, and she is very good at coming up with interesting questions, and this is one of them. Brandon, if you were stranded on a desert island, who are 3 people that you would not want to bring with you?
3 people I wouldn't want to bring with me?
Yeah.
All right. Oh, man. That's one that'll get you in trouble, I think. Probably... man, I don't know if I can answer that one. Probably my sister's dog. If that counts.
Yeah, you gotta be careful with this question, so you don't have to answer it if you don't want to.
Man, you know, there's nobody that, you know, I love everybody, so all I can think of is like cats or something. Sorry, all cat lovers. I don't love cats. I mean, they're cool, but they're just not for me. Okay, no. Snakes and spiders. You know, I hate those things. So
that's a fair one. I wouldn't want those on an island either.
Nah, don't mess around with those.
Now, Brandon, you got the chance, to have your family with you for this edition and performance. What was it like having your family sort of by your side?
It was great. They're so supportive in everything I do. They have been from day one, and even when things were tough and things, didn't look too promising as far as my career goes, they never discouraged me. They never told me that maybe you should start trying to do something else. This might not work out. They never once said anything like that. They're always telling me to just keep going and keep believing, and they just they believe in me more than anybody, and having them there with me that day, it meant the world to me.
Brandon, just a couple more quick questions for you here. I know we've been on the air with you for about 23 minutes, and if you are just joining us live on Radio Nation, we do have Brandon Chase here on the program, and if you want to ask him a quick question, you can certainly do so by tweeting us at @radio_nation. We'll read them out, so keep them appropriate. Brandon, of everything that's happened the last time I spoke to you, and even the first time I spoke to you, you've always been a very down-to-earth person and a very humble person. With all the sort of, popularity that you've been getting, are you finding it yourself? Is it harder to stay humble, or are you really just sort of, is this just a natural thing? You're just sort of taking this sort of step by step?
Man, if anything, it's making me more humble, honestly. I said it was unbelievable as far as my experience goes with The Voice, and it's in the same way. It's unbelievable just the way people are accepting me, and I just couldn't ask for more. It is literally the most humbling experience I've had in my life, and it's a huge experience. It's a huge deal for me. This is obviously the biggest step in my career, and one of the biggest steps in my life, and it's definitely setting up a great road for what lies ahead, and it's extremely humbling.
Now, for those that are just joining us, maybe talk a little bit about, as much as you can anyway, about sort of what led you up to this point in The Voice. Well, I guess what I mean by that is, how did you get to that point in terms of auditioning, and where did you have to go, and all that sort of stuff?
Well, I never really thought about doing any kind of talent show up until the first time I saw The Voice. Just seeing that it was such a different concept, and they always seem to really focus on the artist and not try to show them in any kind of negative light or try to focus on any of the bad. They just always seem to really portray each individual the way that they wanted to be portrayed. It's so easy to, especially you see the other shows, I won't name names, but you see all the drama, and that's kind of what they focus on. That's what they thrive on, and The Voice is not that at all. So that definitely put an interest in my heart from the first time I saw it. And obviously we're on season 5 now, so that was season 1. But I never really took any kind of action for it. And to be honest, I'm not really sure how The Voice found me, but they sent me an email in January and asked me to come do a private audition in Houston. So it was about a 4-hour road trip from Austin, and I went with my mom and sister, and the rest just kind of fell into place. And I just really stepped out and took a chance with it, and just decided whatever happened. I wasn't going to get discouraged either way, and it led to me being on the show, and not just on the show, but getting on a team. So super awesome.
Now, when they reached out to you, were you at first like, this is kind of a joke, kind of seemed kind of too good to be true?
Yeah, definitely. I still think it's too good to be true. There's so many talented people out there, and I don't feel like I'm better than anyone. So it really, anybody deserves this opportunity, and I'm so blessed to be one of the ones that was able to be a part of this and to be able to be on the show. I don't take it for granted for one second.
Brandon, talk quickly about the Dallas music scene, because that is, of course, where you're from, is the Dallas area, and what the music scene's like there, and how competitive it is, and how tough it is to make it as a country artist, even in a town like Dallas.
Yeah, I've played a ton of venues around the area, mainly smaller coffee shops and small bars and that kind of thing, and to be honest, I've been shot down by a lot of people. They say if you can't bring in this X amount of people, then I'm sorry, but you can't play here, or you don't have this kind of following. So I got shot down a lot, but it never let it stop me. And it's a great music scene in Dallas. It's just it's a lot better for known musicians. There's a ton of venues that are really great, but you can only play them if you have a certain size fan base. So, I'm hoping after, the show is aired now, I'm hoping that I can go to those places that shot me down at first, and hopefully they'll accept me with loving arms, and I'll be able to play them and be able to just play live in front of new people and see new faces. I played a lot of shows with empty chairs, and I never let it discourage me. I just kept going, and I'll still play for one or two people. It's not about the amount of people. It's just to me, it's just being able to do it, and being there and hanging out with fans one-on-one.
How does it work then for somebody who's an artist like yourself, starting out, and like the venue wants me to bring in the numbers, but I mean, how hard is it to find a venue that doesn't really care so much about the numbers and just will give artists like yourself, young artists, a chance to just play?
It's relatively hard to find, but there definitely are some, and I give them so much credit because they're helping out the community, they're helping out new young artists, and I'll forever be grateful to all those that gave me a chance to let me play there. Every time you step out on a stage, it's practice. It's you're getting better each and every time, and there's some amazing small venues that truly care about seeing artists from the area succeed, and it's because of those people I'm here today. Really, just people giving a chance to somebody that hasn't made it big yet.
Brandon, I just want to ask you something else about the publicity thing. I think it's pretty cool. If you Google your name right now in Google News, your name comes up for the Toronto Star, the Los Angeles Times, ABC News, Hollywood Life, PR Web. The list goes on and on. For those that are just tuning in right now, describe what that's like to sort of see your name. And these are all pretty respectable and huge newspapers in their respective areas.
Well, that's pretty sweet. Like I said, you mentioned something earlier about Toronto, and now you just mentioned all those things. I haven't seen any of those yet, so it's definitely so cool, man. I've spent all day, all last night, and all day today on Twitter, basically. So I haven't even Googled lately to check out all those things, but. It's crazy. A year ago, I was contacting small magazines and stuff, trying to get a shot to be in on their website and stuff like that. And I couldn't even get in the door. And now without even going to them, they're posting me on these huge websites. It's very humbling. It's so cool.
Well, just looking at them now, it's pretty interesting to see all the ones like there's your names in the Rolling Stone. I've seen one on People, but this one's kind of interesting. I'm going to read you a little line from it, and I just want to hear what your thoughts are. Just give me a second because it's just loading, but it talks a bit about yourself on the program here. Just give me a quick sec because it takes a second to load.
Oh, you're going to send me all these.
So here we go. This is right out of this article. It says, but the next contestant wouldn't fill one of them, as CeeLo might try to woo over prodigy Brandon Chase, a Texan who graduated from college at 17, but wanted all the above to succeed as a musician. What's it like when you hear something like that, where you hear your name prodigy and all these sort of big terminology words that go together with your name?
Wow. I don't think I've ever had my name in the same sentence as prodigy. It's really cool, man. Obviously, there's a lot of people that think a lot of me, and it's so humbling. It's so cool. I just keep coming back to that word. I know, humbling. It is. That's how I feel. That's the emotion that's going through my mind. It's crazy.
Even if you don't win the thing, and obviously that's a huge goal. But I mean, even if you were hypothetically to that was it. This one TV thing was the only thing you ever got. What would you take away from it? I mean, what's like, would that be enough for you, or do you really want to win, or are you just very happy with, like, hey, you know, I got on TV, this is amazing, and I'm just going to take whatever opportunity I can get?
Man, I honestly, right now, I'm already a winner, really. Even if I didn't make a team, I would still be a winner. That's just how I feel, you know. It was such an amazing opportunity, and one that it really comes once in a lifetime. And there's a lot of people that search for this opportunity and don't get it. You know, it's kind of a luck of a draw thing. It's not even, it's unfortunate, but it's true. At the early stages of casting and stuff, it's a lot of times not even about the talent. It's just kind of at random. And just to know that I was one of those people that got the opportunity it's unbelievable. It's insane. So yeah, I mean, I'm already a winner, like, really. All the new fans that have been just showing me their full support the last 24 hours. Man, I know they're going to stick with me, and they're just going to be there for me, even after The Voice, you know. So it's crazy. It's awesome. It's unbelievable. It's humbling. All of the above.
Just a couple more quick questions for you here, Brandon. Now with, of course, everything that you have, talk a bit about your writing style, 'cause I'm sure there's a few people listening that this is maybe the first time they've heard you give an interview. So, I mean, talk a bit about your writing style and, you know, what things inspire you to write music and that sort of thing.
I actually have a blog about this on my website, but, you know, I'm one of those that, man, just life inspires me. Just anything and everything. I can literally just walk outside and, you know, see something and just instantly be inspired by it, you know, by its beauty or whatever. I don't have to really go out and search for it. It's all around me. You know, just receiving all the love and support, that's inspiration. You know, seeing other people chase their dreams and succeeding, that's inspiration. So, you know, I find so much life in everything, and it's just, man, how can you not be inspired by all the things around you? The simple fact, it overwhelms me. It's crazy just to think about how accessible you are to everything and everyone. You know, you're in Canada and I'm in Texas, and we're talking right now, and a bunch of people are listening in. That in itself is crazy. It's man, so it's been out a long time, but it's so inventive. It changed the course of life, and you know, songs, I feel like are the same way. You know, you write that one song that really speaks to people. It really just hits home with them. Then you've made a difference. You've possibly altered the course of their life. So you know, that's kind of my mentality when it comes to my songwriting. And I start with lyrics sometimes. I start with music sometimes. It really just kind of depends. I just kind of let the song flow and let it come to life however it wants to come to life.
Brandon, what kind of advice would you give to somebody who's maybe either 11, 12, 13-year-old and they're you know, they're thinking about becoming a country singer or thinking about taking the next step and performing and that sort of thing? What kind of advice would you give them?
Man, my biggest advice is to just work hard and chase after your dream with everything you have. You know, even if music isn't your thing, you know, it applies to whatever you want to do in life. As long as you work hard and you pursue your dreams and you don't let anybody tell you can't do something. When somebody says you can't do something, let it fuel you and make you strive to do it even greater. And you know, so that's really the biggest advice I can give to anybody. That's the biggest advice that I've ever gotten. And you know, as long as you keep doing something, as long as you believe in it with your whole heart and you go after it 100%, you really can't fail. You have no other option but to succeed.
Now, Brandon, going to try to end this off on a fun note. So, now that you've got a lot of interaction on Twitter and that sort of thing, have you had to take off the sort of the mention or the vibrate on your phone or the noise that Twitter makes on your phone because it's constantly going off?
Yeah, I did. Not even for the fact of it just continuously going off, but for the fact of it completely killing my phone battery. I mean, oh man, I've had to have my phone on the charger all day because it's dying so fast. Because the Twitter and the Instagram and the Facebook, it's all set to automatically receive new information. So it's continually sending signal back and forth through the web. So yeah, it's all my notifications are off because I don't really need the notification thing because I know anytime I go to the app, there's going to be something there. So it's kind of crazy.
Now, over the last little while, I've noticed your Twitter follower account has gone up like crazy, which is pretty awesome. Anything else you want to add before we let you go tonight?
Man, just thank you. Thank you so much for having me on again. I think this is our third time, and I hope it won't be our last. Thank you, man. Like when I was talking about the venues earlier, that we're giving new artists a chance. You're one of those people, and you're on radio, and that's so awesome. You're giving new undiscovered talent a chance to be recognized by all of your followers, and so I really appreciate you, and thank you for doing that, and I commend you. It's a really awesome thing.
Well, thank you very much for those kind words, Brandon. And you looked great on TV. I got to watch it. I saw it on YouTube first, and then I got to watch it on TV later on in the day. And you looked great on big screen TV. So good job, Brandon, and congratulations.
Thank you so much, and thank you everybody for listening in. Hopefully, we got your questions answered. Send me a tweet if you have another question. I'll try my best to respond. Twitter kind of. Once it gets so many notifications, I can't even scroll back to see them. But I definitely try my best every time. So thank you guys so much for listening in.
Well, take care, Brandon, and good